Hi, welcome to SBR Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. Sitting next to me is Mike Brenner. This is the final installment of our Seeding Trends series. Right now we're going to cover the 8-9 matchups, and of course it's March 3rd right now, so we have somewhat of a decent sense of who's on the bubble, who might make it, but obviously
in the locker room getting dressed up for the big dance. That's where we're at right now.
Now the 8-9 matchup, it's interesting because we don't know who's going to, a lot of bubble teams might wind up with an 8 or a 9 seed, but this is weird, and I'm sure you've seen this, Mike Brenner. Tell me what you think about it. Now, you would think that the 8-9 seeds would be roughly 50-50 in terms of who advances, but over the past 5 years, 15 of the 8 seeds have advanced. Yes. I mean, is there something there, or is that a fluke?
They won 17 of 24.
Yeah.
15 advanced. I know.
What's going on there?
I don't think it's a fluke. I think
you don't think so? How could it not be?
Well, I don't know. Maybe fluke's not the right word, so let me change that. But I don't know, Pete. This is interesting, and again, it's all speculative. But numbers don't lie, and what you just said, that's the absolute truth. 15 of them. So.
Well, they don't lie, but they can mislead, though. It could be just a fluke. I mean, all of these spreads are very competitive, so, it's always a competitive matchup. It's the NCAA tournament, so it's not like the 9 seeds looking ahead and, taking the game, not giving 100% effort. Yeah. Why would it be that 15 8 seeds have advanced and only 5 9 seeds have advanced over the past 5 years?
Well, that's the $64,000 question,
I have no idea.
But I know one thing. Last year, all 8s won.
Yeah.
All right, but 2-2 against the spreads.
I'm also noticing that the spreads over the past few years have been very, very accurate. Did you know this, Mike Brenner? Last 2 years, 4 of the 8 games came within one point of the spread.
I know that.
Unbelievable. Now that's a little bit fluky.
That's fluky, and I don't think that's going to repeat itself this year, Pete, but that was an interesting fact.
So that makes me think that maybe, you love to do teasers. So, if the bookies are getting these spreads very accurately with the 8-9 matchups, maybe that means the teasers have more value. Right.
It's a good way to look. I think that's going to be a good avenue to profit this March Madness, especially as we get down into the 8s and the 9s. So.
All right, so let's talk about possible teams that could be 8 or 9 seeds. I mean, there's a boatload of them here.
Boy,
Colorado, UConn, right? Providence, St. Joe's, Florida. That's a team we haven't mentioned. They've got 8-9 written all over them.
Wisconsin's in there, VCU.
Oh, I don't think I think Wisconsin's going.
I think they could be higher. Now, if they have a fluke loss or two before we end out, they could.
But Temple, Syracuse, Texas Tech, Dayton could fall down to an 8 or even a 9 seed. Do you have anything?
Did you mention Pitt?
No, I didn't. They're in there too.
They lost last night, and I was reading something this morning that said they could easily drop to around the 9. So,
all right.
Yeah.
So any of these teams, is there anything we think about? I think we've already mentioned Seton Hall in other videos that were generally kind of high on them, right? Is there any team that's projected to be about an 8 or a 9 seed that you think you might be high on or low on in terms of spread?
Absolutely. I think Florida.
Florida?
Yeah, I think Florida, and it's only not because they're that good. I think the competition they will be facing. Like if Florida went up against a VCU or even a Pitt, I think they could come away with the win.
Really? So you're generally looking at Florida to do well ATS?
Yes, if they're in that 8
at least in
spot.
the first round.
Exactly, and even believe it or not, a Texas Tech, someone like that. What do you say? Your Texas Techs.
Your Texas. You've got a lot of teams here that could be 8s or 9. Your Texas Techs, your Temples, your Syracuses, your
and
Dayton.
USC. I think you mentioned that also. And there's a team that was top 25 rated and just fell apart. So I don't know about them ending up a 9 or an 8. What do you think about St. Joe's, Pete?
Yeah, I don't know what I think. I mean, the thing about when it comes to 8-9s is you get a lot of teams that are where the conference seems to matter. We're going to probably get a bunch of Pac-12 teams here in the 8-9 range, like Colorado, Oregon State, a bunch of them.
Ooh, Oregon State, you might be right on with that one.
Do we think that the Pac-12 will be overrated or underrated going into the tournament?
I think it'd be overrated.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking
really
as well.
I think it'd be overrated.
I could see teams like Oregon State and Colorado getting, margin ATS losses, early exits, stuff like that.
Me too. Yep, especially Colorado's.
And I'm thinking that the Big East might be a little bit underrated. Seton Hall, Providence, those kinds of teams that wind up in the 8-9 area.
I look for Providence to rev it up in the 8 and 9, and Seton Hall as well.
And before we go, just people wondering about ATS stuff, the Dogs have actually been 13-6-1 against the spread over the last 5 years. But again,
huge.
a lot of those were close, and the last 2 years they were just 4-4 against the spread. So that's probably going to even out going forward. And I guess that just about does it. That wraps up our 8-9 seeding trends video. We've covered all of the seeding matchups.
I'm ready to get it going,
I'm
Pete.
ready to get it going. Just wait for Selection Sunday.
That's it. Bank the money this year.